Cinderella, illustrated by Val Biro. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. She lived with her stepmother and stepsisters who made her their servant. One day, an invitation came from the palace inviting all in the town to the princess' ball. Cinderella's wicked stepmother said, "Servants don't attend balls." That night, as her stepmother and stepsisters left for the ball wearing Cinderella's own jewels and dresses, she sat by the fire and cried. Just then, Cinderella's fairy godmother appeared. "Do not cry, you shall go to the ball." Cinderella did as her fairy godmother asked. She brought her a pumpkin, and with a swish of her wand, fairy godmother turned it into a carriage. Cinderella caught a rat, which, with a sprinkling of magic, became a grand horse. Lizards became footmen and a driver. In no time, all was soon ready. "Just one more thing," said the fairy godmother. With a swish of her wand, Cinderella's rags turned into the most beautiful gown, and her hair was as a princess' hair. "Enjoy the ball, my dear, but remember, on the last stroke of midnight, the magic will end." At the palace, all the guests stared at Cinderella. Not even her stepsisters and stepmother recognized Cinderella. The prince danced with Cinderella all night. The stepsisters were jealous of the beautiful stranger. At the first stroke of midnight, Cinderella fled the palace. She had just left the palace when the magic disappeared and her rags returned. In her hurry to leave, Cinderella had dropped one of her glass slippers. The prince told his men to find the beautiful stranger whose foot fit the delicate shoe. All the women in the town lined up to try on the shoe. The stepsister's feet were too fat or too bony. "Is there anyone else here?" asked the man. "Only our servant," replied the stepsisters. Cinderella was called. The shoe fit perfectly, of course. To everyone's surprise, she produced the matching shoe. Her fairy grandmother waved her wand, and Cinderella was once again transformed. Her stepsisters begged forgiveness, and Cinderella did so, as she had a kind heart. The prince was overjoyed to have found Cinderella again, and they were married the next day. The stepsisters got married too, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.